Welcome to the Marketing Intern Spotlight. A marketing intern is a listener who's spreading our message authentically. Hear their story, their passion, and their journey. Enjoy. Bam.
We're rolling?
We're live.
We're live.
Uh-oh. We're live.
Clara, how are you doing today?
Guys, I'm great.
I'm so happy to have you here.
I know, it's weird. It's weird to be back.
To be on the mics this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just telling Decky I'm kind of a behind-the-scenes person, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring the BTS to life then.
Yeah, no, this is a live BTS in front of the S, right?
In front of the...
Yes.
See, it's just the
Oh,
S.
because, yeah, it's not even BT. Just
It's
S.
not, yeah.
No. Okay, cool.
It's kind of behind the scenes. We're talking about behind the scenes life things, but we're actually on the scene.
Yeah, but you can also...
OTS.
On the scene?
Mm.
Yeah, I like that. But we're also like uncovering your story, which is uncovering. We're uncovering all of your secrets. Yeah. I am very. We gotta
I do
uncover
love
this.
Dateline, so.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Is that still show
You're
on?
Oh yeah, they're on like season 24.
Wow.
And
Not
you're
that I know that.
and you are like all about it or what?
Oh yeah, like a cozy Friday night in with a Dateline and some popcorn.
Okay.
Those
Yeah,
are like
can't beat
murder stories, right?
Yeah, well, some of them are murders. Some
Okay.
are just like weird, like follow-ups to stories. I don't know. It just totally depends.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Keith Morrison is a great host, though. So if you don't know him, check him out.
No. So you're crime-ridden. Interesting. We'll start there. Actually, no. Where we're actually going to start is the fact that Andrew and I slaved away. I wouldn't say slaved. We got to throw on Bochella, and utilizing you're what? So with Ben VW, Woodchuck guy who we had on our podcast, season 3, episode 7. What was your like his guy? What I don't or his girl? I guess.
It's 2019.
What do we
I can be
say?
his guy.
What do we? What's your role?
Yeah. So I don't really know. So Ben is actually technically just a client of mine. So I contract with multiple companies. Ben is kind of his own entity, separate from Woodchuck. So I was doing all of Woodchuck's stuff, as I call it, just marketing strategy, high-level branding strategy. And then Ben, in and of himself, is an entrepreneur, obviously, just wrote a book. And so he was kind of a separate entity of, okay, let's get this book off the ground. Let's promote Ben VW, independent of Ben the Woodchuck guy. And that's how it kind of came about.
Okay. So
So.
you were like his publicist, marketing, brand strategist guy.
Yeah.
And you were here in the studio when Ben came in.
Yeah, Ben's
Behind the scenes.
BTS. I'm the BTS girl. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just
So-
making sure everything's organized. I was an hour late to that though.
You were an hour.
so
Oh, yeah. You were a
it's
little
okay.
late to that, and you were
Yeah.
not on time.
I was
to
11
this.
minutes late today.
14, but we're not gonna
I
highlight.
was drinking my nitro brew in the car. Okay.
Nice.
I was
dude.
nervous.
Okay. Well, I'm
I
excited for
needed
you.
to decompress.
Yeah, you take it all in for a sec.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
was my alone time. Okay.
But it's kind of cool that you've now you're just one of the guys. You're a marketing intern. It's fun to see your growth and like our friendship just taking off, of course, on all fronts.
Yeah.
But we reached out to you beginning of June when we started running kind of running our promotion of Bochella through our friends, and you were one of them. And then you became the head and face of Bochella.
Yeah.
Where we used all your stuff across like Facebook advertising through. Then we did a Barstool post that like got huge. What were your analytics looking like?
Yeah, the analytics were skyrocketing. I was like, actually, so when I reposted that story, I forget how many. Like normally I'll get like a couple shares, like just the normal amount of clicks or whatever. And I do all of my like business experimentation on my personal one. So I can see like, okay, what does this analytics do? Like what date range can I do from here? So I'm always looking at my own analytics on it. And I forgot that I was like tagged in that. And I'm like, what the heck? It was like better than, and like I have like a 60,000 follower account for one of my clients.
Yeah.
My analytics were like better. I'm like, we got to get our stuff on Barstool. Like, that's the key. But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That's nuts.
It was my 4 days of fame.
Yeah, you had it was more like 4 weeks. We were running promotion for a while.
Yeah, we were
leading
using
up to the event.
We were using all of the images that you sent us on our paid Facebook as well. So anything that I was running, like swipe up campaigns and event response campaigns, and it was Declan and I, it was a few of our friends and yourself, and you were by far getting the most event responses of interested or going type thing. So thank you for that.
So I think you convinced a lot of people to come.
I mean, I did not come to Boatchella.
Yeah, so that needs to be talked about. So we were sad.
Gives?
We
what
got
gives?
sad.
I mean, I can't, like, to this day, I've never been to anything that ends in Ella. I'm not a Coachella girl. I'm not a Boatchella girl. No, honestly, I have no excuse, like, at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you do that day? Just curious. I don't know.
I thought about you guys. I did.
Oh,
because
thanks for the
because
thought.
I worked out. Okay. I woke up, took my dog out, went for a run.
Yep.
Lifted a little bit, which for a Saturday is a rarity.
Productive.
It was like 94 degrees out that day.
It was very
I
hot.
think
sunny.
I went to Maynard's for like 2 hours.
Okay.
I know. This is really
The same thing that you would have done every Saturday.
Yeah.
And then she thought about
I
it.
actually did,
Yeah.
but I did think about you guys. That's different from my Saturday routine.
That's true.
Yeah, I did everything normal.
You're not thinking
Just
about me all the
didn't-
time?
Well, I didn't want to say it on air.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Jack?
I was just gonna say, and then she thought about you. She took her dog for a walk and
Yeah.
thought about you.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. I guess thanks for the thought.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. It's phenomenal.
But yeah, no, it looked really fun though. I was living vicariously through everybody's tags.
Sweet.
So
We were pleasantly
it was like I was
surprised.
there, you know.
Yeah. You were there virtually.
What was the craziest thing that happened at Boatchella?
For me, it was running these Facebook campaigns.
Yeah.
There was a group of 15 people that I sold tickets to. Cold audience, had no mutual connections to anyone on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
These 15 people got a party bus and then came to Boatchella on the party bus.
Wait, that's dope.
And
Full Coachella
That is
attire.
dope.
They bought this was the coolest thing.
Where were they from?
They were they all went to the U of M. They were I think 2 years older than Declan and I.
Yeah.
And they knew none of us, but saw the Facebook ad. One person did and sent it to their friend group in a group chat, and they were like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." They all
That's
bought
crazy.
tickets and then
That's
got a party bus.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, that is so. Do you feel like I would feel like I made it if that was my event and there was like 15 random people who got a party bus? I'd be like, I'm a promoter.
Oh, it was I like from looking afar, because Andrew was the guy checking everybody in as they
Yeah.
walked onto the boat. I was
Yeah.
just the guy talking with everybody while they were on the boat
You were
before
being
we
the new face of Boatchella.
exactly. I was just like introducing,
replaced.
engaging.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just being, that kind of
Just being
comfortable.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I got to talk to them, I just see Andrew like jumping for joy. I was like, yeah, this kid's in his Nirvana moment. Like, how'd you guys hear about us? And like one of the girls was like, yeah, I clicked on one of your Facebook ads. I was like, yo.
Yeah, I was
That's
smiling ear
cool.
to ear.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
My
That's-
favorite part was there was this guy, an older man, I think he's like 60-ish, from the UK. He has been traveling in America, just going on like a little bit of a retirement tour, kind of getting to know the States. And
Mhm.
he was in Minnesota for 2 days and staying in St. Paul at a hotel. Asked the hotel what he should do that day. They said, hey, you should go on a boat tour of the city on the river. And then he went to the same boat company that we had and showed up and said, hey, what do you guys got for me? And they say, well, we got this public event that is about leaving in probably an hour to tour the city, pretty run the mill. And then there's this thing called Boatchella. And they're just like, it's a private or a public private type deal with
Yeah.
like a bunch of 20-year-olds, and they're playing music and stuff. Or I don't know how they really pitched it on him, but he was like, I want that. So then
So he came to Boatchella.
came on the boat. Yeah, he just walked in with like the policemen that were on the boat or something. I don't really know the logistics there, but getting to know the guy and like just understanding, like he just walked into this thing randomly and then got to know him, took a picture with him, had the time of
Cute.
his life
Was he the oldest attendee?
by far.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah, I let him on for free
yeah.
because he told me that story. I was like, "Oh, Freddie, get on this boat right now!
Come on, Fred.
Come on, Fred!" And he was taking videos of everyone the whole time, smiling ear to ear. We talked to him for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then he's walking off the boat, and he goes, "That was the best day of my life."
Oh my
And we're
gosh.
like, "What? Yeah,
You guys, that's actually really cute.
yeah." It
I
was
know.
pretty.
You
awesome.
guys are promoters.
We
You're
are.
No,
like
no.
you're podcast hosts, but now you're promoters. Like you're both.
It's
Yeah.
tough to admit that, but we're leaning in that direction.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we want it's a tough industry. It's kind of slimy.
It's-
Slimy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little competitive,
Mhm.
but Minneapolis is still like small enough that I think you guys can break into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
that's why Boatchella 2020 is gonna be fun. And
I'm going to have to stir up some new content between now and then.
Well, you're on a lake like every third day, so I'm not too worried about that.
That's fair.
So
okay,
just make sure you keep us in mind, all right?
I already have a couple of things compiled for you.
Okay. Hey, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Can we go on record and can you confirm or deny your attendance?
Yes, I will be attending Boatchella.
Hold on, see that one more time,
God.
Jack. Can you look in the camera?
One more time. Look right here.
I will be attending Boatchella 2020.
Booyah.
Boom. See, look, now we use that as a promotion next year. Strapped in.
That will, if you use that as a promotion, that will definitely decline your attendance.
Nope. No, you don't know how event promotion works.
That's fair.
You clearly don't understand, dude.
Oh, man. But back into your story. Let's start from, so you're a Tommy grad.
Tommy grad.
And
Roll Toms.
Remind me, when you graduated, did
Rip
you...
Mayak. Sorry.
Rip Mayak. Did you know what you were going to be doing? Did you have an inclination of where you wanted to go?
I had no idea.
Okay.
So, I mean, I did, but then I didn't, and now I'm not doing either of those things. So my mom was in high-end residential real estate my whole life, so I really liked real estate. I knew it was a fun world. But then I was a sophomore. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be independent. I'm not going to do real estate. I'm going to do my own thing, whatever. So I went for marketing strategy and business. And I got my first internship when I was 18, working for Del Monte Foods in Eden Prairie. And at 18, I was getting paid $68 an hour.
What?
Yeah.
It's one away from a party. One way from like the best deal ever.
That's almost 69.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, can I get a $1 raise or what's the
what's the point of getting paid 68?
Not to be greedy, but like, why'd you make it 68 when you could have made it 69?
Yeah. Let's be real here.
But yeah, and I hated it. So I made like all this money and I was sitting behind a desk and I just was like miserable. I would nap in my car in the Flying Cloud Business Center parking lot because I was like so unengaged. And
what exactly were you doing?
Category management and sales. So it was
what
like,
the hell is that?
That's a dynamic question. But basically, like Del Monte owned a category in Target, and we would go in and like strategize where everyone else's products went in relation to ours. Okay. Planograms, like pivot tables, living in Excel. And I'm like, this is just not what wakes me up in the morning. You know,
Sure.
Like the rounds of golf were fun after work that I paid for everyone. Cause I'm like, oh guys, I make almost $69 an hour. So that was like short lived. And it made me realize though, I was like, okay, cool. Like I'd rather make $20 an hour doing $29. No, it doesn't translate. Doing something I like as opposed to, you know, getting paid a lot at 18, but like not being engaged. Like I wouldn't even, my mom would call me and I wouldn't call her back. So I'm like, I don't have anything to talk about. Like, sure. So I learned a lot from that experience. Went into commercial real estate for 6 years.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. After that. So I was like, okay, I love real estate. Just going to roll with it. Had great senior brokers. Worked at Excelsior Group for 3-ish years.
So that's pretty much is that a lot of west of the cities real estate? Okay.
Yeah. So I was they had 19 employees when I first started, but I was the second employee of Excelsior Brokerage. So it was just me and my senior guy. He had been in the business for like 31 years, one of the top brokers in the Twin Cities. So it was just him and I was learning from like the best of the best. It was awesome. He ended up being like one of my greatest mentors. And then I don't know what happened. I just like, I loved it, but I was working super hard and I'm like, you know what? Like I want to start my own thing. Like I just got that urge. And so I did.
Really?
Yeah.
What did that end up becoming? Scribble, right?
Yeah.
I do my research.
So, yeah. So this is like not a fluid story, by the way. Like it doesn't really make sense on paper. But I was in commercial real estate, was like, okay, I want to do my own thing. Like I got to stockpile a bunch of money. So one of my really smart friends was in recruiting, doing full desk executive search. And he's like, just come do it. You'll be great. Like it's super hard, but whatever. So I did that for a year, stockpiled some money so that I didn't die if I, you know,
made the leap.
Yeah, made the leap and like didn't get a job right away.
Mm-hmm. So you were like recruiting people to other companies to get them jobs essentially?
Yeah, so I was doing sales, like executive sales search. So
Got it.
and everybody thinks recruiting is like, this is my little recruiting plug for all you recruiters out there. Everyone thinks like it's finding candidates jobs. Like you're a candidate, you're like, oh, you're a recruiter, like get me a job, whatever. It's the dead opposite. Like you find clients that have jobs to fill, and then you fill those roles. So like my 80% of my day was like cold calling into businesses saying, hey, I know you have these 4 roles, we can help you fill them. Everyone thinks it's like the opposite, you know?
Hey, like calling people like, hey, do you need a job?
Yeah.
But
yeah. So it's a really hard world. I was one of 2 girls at the firm. I was the only girl when I was in commercial real estate out of our like little brokerage. And
you said it was like 19 people? So
when I started, when I left, I think they were at like 211.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they've been on fast. Yeah, they're still growing like crazy. So they did like 222 Hennepin, all the like really high-end multifamily buildings. That's Excelsior Group. They develop all that.
Wow.
Yeah, they're great.
What's it like having the ratio of like 15 to 1 dudes to girls?
Depends on the day.
Okay.
It's sometimes it's
what do you mean?
great.
Like guys are dicks some days and not on other days, or?
Yeah, I don't know. Like when somebody's wife had a baby, it was like, I don't want to hear about like all of it. You know what I mean? Like, it was very like bro talk and and then this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like 23, like holy cow.
Yeah.
But then other days it was like super chill because there was no drama, no one was ever mad, like it was just super calm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely
that makes sense. The pros and cons. I can see that being very unhealthy at times.
Yeah. Like sometimes there was like something that really made sense logically and like clearly like it was just like a little harder, like and I'm like sitting there telling 20 guys like, hey, you guys, we like can't cut corners, so like we have to do it, and everyone's like, nah, just it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not fine. Like I need girls to like tell these boys like, just shut up, we're gonna do it this way.
Right.
But yeah, so that it was just like boy girl dynamic, you know.
Yeah, classic. It never changes from middle school.
Nope, doesn't change.
It's funny. The reason I like wanted to ask that was because I'm in a very similar situation as one of the guys. Like I work in construction. Yeah. There are 2 women in our office, and there's 270 guys. Yeah. And it's like that has got to be overwhelming for them.
Yeah, that's intense.
And
that's intense.
Not only that, but it's like very gritty construction mindset. Get your shit done. Yelling. A plethora of F-bombs, like there. I mean, it goes far and wide. So I would love to. It's an interesting dynamic.
It totally is. And like because I was like always surrounded by like the high level executives, you know. So it just was such a different experience. But now I only work with girls. Ironically, like Ben is like the only guy I work with. Yeah, and that's like refreshing in and of itself, you know. But like then there are days where I'm like, oh, I wish we could just like, I didn't have to explain this on a 45-minute phone call. Like I got used to like saying things in 4 minutes. Like I'd be like, okay, this is the lowdown, this XYZ, and like most guys don't ask questions, whereas women are like, okay, well 2 weeks ago we had this one comment on our Instagram, so did we follow up with them? Like what was it? You know what I mean? Like it's just the intricacies are like so different. So yeah, it's just been a balance of like, I don't know, figuring out how to like bridge that gap. But
what are some of those clients that you're working with outside of Ben?
Yeah, okay, so this is, I gotta go back to this fluid story. So was at Skywater Search Partners, is my recruiting firm, and then on my 26th birthday, actually, the day I like needed health insurance, like needed to be an adult, I walk in, they threw me like a surprise. I love to bowl. They threw me a surprise bowling party the night before.
Real quick, what's your score? What are you scoring nowadays?
My average is low right now. Probably like a 160.
That's still
That's
damn
really
good. I bowl, I think, 110.
That's pretty good. Anything over 90 is like, okay, you can bowl.
Yeah.
Anything under is like, just don't come with us. It's like a waste of time.
Sure.
But yeah, so we did a bowling thing, and then the next morning, like I was literally still wearing the off-the-shoulder shirt that I wore to my birthday party into the office. And I was just like, you know what? I like want to do my own thing. Like I just want to, at the time it was totally different than what I'm doing now, but I'm like, I want to experience like making the leap, blah, blah, blah. And the guy, Adam Hoffarber is his name, great guy. He's like, you need health insurance today, right? And I was like, yeah. But they were great, and that was in January, and they let me stay actually until like the end of March. He's like, just get your bearings. Like, we'll help you out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were amazing. Dude. Yeah. I was like, I feel like I'm being punked right now. I was like, really? I'm like quitting and you're letting me stay? He's like, yeah, just tell me when you like need to get paid through and we'll part ways.
That's awesome.
Wow. So it was like a dream come true in that sense of like, I probably have like a biased experience. So now I go around, I'm like, quit your job. If you're not happy, do this. But like, I had a really good experience of like quitting my job and still getting paid for like 5 weeks.
Yeah, they raised you up and they're like, bye, Clara.
Yeah, they were so amazing. So like, I don't know, that was great. So then I quit, and this is actually where Jim Jetland, I don't even know if he knows this, but he was my first senior broker at Excelsior Group. He would write me notes all the time. Like I would come in and there would just be a note. His hockey coach in college was Herb Brooks.
That's unreal.
Yeah. So he would write me these notes that were like, my mentor always said, and his mentor was Herb Brooks. So like I would get all these notes of like Herb Brooks quotes and the things that he would say during practice and like that kind of stuff. And it was so impactful for me as like a 23-year-old, like not knowing what I'm doing at all. Still don't really know at 27, but like, you're just such a baby like in this world. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like these handwritten notes. And so when I went to start my own thing, on the flip side of that, I had tutored somebody in North Minneapolis, and one day I went to tutor him, and he got in trouble for giving his friend his coat, and he was like all upset, and he's like, I can't help because I don't have any money. And like that statement just stuck with me. And I was like, okay, well, you have resources, you have adults, you have time, like you don't just need money. And in his mind, he couldn't help because he didn't have money. And I was like, okay, there's such an opportunity here to bridge a gap between like empowering people who feel like the only thing that can help is a monetary thing. And then obviously like the startup world in Minneapolis is super unique. So came Scribble, this greeting card company, because I'm like, okay, what can I pay for on my own? What's low entry to the market? Landed on greeting cards. So I was like, okay, everybody needs greeting cards. Like, there's car companies, there's Target that are already paying $100,000 a year for these cards for their employees to like send out. Yeah. So that happened. And then I did that for about 7 months full time. It's a lot more intricate than you would think it is because you're dealing with like child artwork.
Yeah.
So they're all under 18.
Oh.
Yeah. So
like
it's
child
great.
labor laws and stuff? Or?
Yeah. And like you have to have like the legality behind it is crazy because you have to have everything signed off on. And then it's also like technically a for-profit company from like just a tax standpoint.
Yeah.
So like the legality behind that is even crazier and like all this stuff I didn't know. So it was a really good learning experience. But yeah, that was like my happy place for it. Still is like, I still love it. But I would go into these classrooms and like the kids ask you like, okay, like I'm interested in business. What class should I take? Like they just don't, like they're so excited and I don't know, it's just like the happiest thing in the world. But while I was doing that, Ben approached me and was like, hey, I'd known Ben for a while. And he's like, I want you to look at marketing stuff for Woodchuck and kind of just do like a high level overview of what's going on. So I did, and I ended up taking over their social. Then somebody approached them and was like, hey, we love the vibe of what's going on like with your branding, who does your stuff. So they very nicely passed on my information. And now I have 4 clients.
Dude.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
It's a tough way to go about it because it's so all over the place, right?
It totally is. And everyone's like, oh my God, you do social media. You love social media. I'm like, I really don't like love social media. I just like, I don't know. It just like makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just like makes sense for me. And like, it's hard because you're like always on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
my God.
Yo, your screen time blows me away. Are you lower than what you were like a month ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah, because my phone overheats on the boat, so I usually
Oh my God.
Do you have like an extra battery pack?
I have 2 phones.
Yeah,
so,
Clara, she's the burning woman is what I call her.
Yeah.
Which if you're cool, you have the burning woman's burner.
All my friends literally have my work phone in their normal phones as burner, like all big letters. So sometimes it gets us.
I got burning
questions.
woman. You get the FaceTime, you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Wow.
But yeah, it's like if I had $1 for every time somebody like got mad at me for being on my phone, like it's like ruined like friendships and relationships. Literally, because I'm like, I can't not. Like when you guys were up north with us for the retreat, and like Decky gets this, like I'm like, okay, I literally have to like step away and be on my phone for half hour. Like we're at this dive bar and I'm like, I gotta go. Like I'm
like, what do you mean it's 11:30? And she's like, yeah, I have things to take care of.
Yeah.
I'm
like, I just like have to do this right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the cool part. So like, what's I mean, that's kind of like the ugly side of it, I guess, is like you have to be on your phone a ton. But what is the more like positive side? Like where do you see the value in working with other brands and clients now that you have 4 of them?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really fun from like a high level branding strategy, right? So like working with all these clients that have different branding objectives, branding goals, what they want to do with like their overall brand strategy, and then at a lower level, their social stuff. It's cool to see the differences and everything, but like also have an underlying, I guess, theme of like everybody wants to bring emotion to their brand, right? Like everybody wants to connect with their audience, resonate with them, and like finding a unique way to do that per company is like what I get excited about. Yeah. So like Faribault Woolen Mills, I started working with them, and they are the most history rich company I've like ever came across. Like they have all this stuff. The mill's been there since like 1830. Like 4 generations of people have worked there, put their families through college, like all this stuff. And I mean, they make blankets, but it's like this story that like when I first toured the mill, which if you guys have never been down to Faribault Woolen Mills, go. Mill tours are Saturday and Sunday. Okay. But like I didn't sleep for like 3 days because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff that they're not talking about. They source all their wool from farmers out west that are just like old ranchers. It's fully sustainable, but you wouldn't know that because like they just hadn't cohesively put all the branding together. And so, you know, that kind of stuff where it's so much to work with and it's so exciting, like that's my favorite part of it for sure.
That's sick. And I love how like it's easier for like people like you and me and people that are more in this like current genre of like social media and really understanding how you can put yourself out there and the impact that it can make. When you have a company that was founded in the 1800s, 1900s, even as early as like if you were a company started in 2004, like before social media really hit, you don't really understand the power in like the branding behind social media and the intent behind it. So you're seeing all these ideas and you're like, oh man, we need to highlight this part of their story and do it this way creatively on Instagram, or we got to do something where we're, you know, filming something and bringing out that story, because again, like the emotion behind the brand, the video or the story and the emotion behind that brand, what it's tied to is what makes the biggest impact.
Totally. And like people buy what they feel, right? Like it's psychology, and it's always been that way. But I think like on what you were saying for us, like, okay, a company started in 1800, like that's not a startup, you know? Like, no. Like, you look at it and you're like, okay, this isn't like hey, we started in our garage last year and like we want you to make some videos. It's like, holy cow, you have all this stuff. Like, what do you mean this guy's signature has been on the wall since 1904 and he, you know what I mean? Like just you can't recreate it. And so I guess just like having that as a brand and like being lucky enough to work with brands like that is and I love the startup side too, because it's like you're creating nothing from the ground up. But like on the flip side, it's really cool to see a bunch of stuff that's already been established that is new in the social media world.
It's interesting working in like the agency kind of like field where you have multitude of clients. Working at Media Bridge and now working at SocialWorks, there's like we just have a wide variety, or each business has a wide variety of clients. Yeah. Do you find it difficult like trying to pass these, like I do it every single day trying to make a consistent message for each brand, but everyone is so different. It's hard for me to like buy into each one because it's like like I really don't know that well. I don't know. I like spreading myself thin on trying to figure out each company I find pretty difficult.
Yeah, I've run into that a lot too. And actually at one point I think I had 6 people, like 6 clients going, and Ben was one of the people. He's like, you're stretched way too thin. Like, you're not engaged in this. You're not blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. And like, I had other friends. Like, one of my good friends is like, yeah, my good buddy contracts out in LA and he only has time to do 2 clients. Like, I don't know how you're doing 6.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of you're scratching the surface of everything, but you're not like diving in head first. And so once I kind of scaled that back and was like, okay, I'm going to like emotionally invest in like these
ones you care about.
Yeah. And like, you know, one entity is Ben as a person. So like, that's not really a company that you're like diving into, you know? So it's just, you have to make sure like that you're knowing these companies like the back of your hand. And a thing that I felt is helpful too is like not being afraid to ask questions. Like, I feel like I ask the stupidest stuff to like marketing directors that I'm working with and that kind of thing, but I would not know that unless I asked. And it's like pretty crucial to the message a lot of the times. So like, I'll be like, hey, this might be a dumb question, but like, what's this? I love asking questions because otherwise you just totally miss the mark on like a lot of things.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I think it's cool. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I would love to just kind of, you mentioned this briefly, but our experience out in, where were we? Red Wing or something?
Where were we so it was when
we did our excursion with Ben. Where was that?
24-hour challenge.
Cushing, Minnesota.
Cushing, Minnesota. I know
Yeah.
this is a complete flip of switch, but I gotta unpack this. You were a key contributor of why we went up there, and put us in.
It's funny.
That situation.
Jack's in the room because we were literally sitting in the same room.
Yeah. I was right there.
Right there.
And I was like, dumb idea, or this
It
world.
was your birthday.
Yeah, it goes, this world needs your fucking ideas. All right, how about this idea? We go to the north and we do an adventure together. He goes, well, actually, this Sunday, I'm taking my team up there. And we're like, let's do it.
Yeah. Commitment on the spot.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was a leap of faith in that sense, but it was an aggressive one for the sense of like, he made it out to being like sending that sheet and everything of, it was going to be this dangerous adventure.
Jack and I always talked about how like it was so cool to say yes like right away, and then as the date got closer,
it was like just far enough away where you're like, okay, I can regret this because it's like 9 days. It's not 2. It's like my God.
Because
it was like 4, I think, and each day that went by, it was like, just
yikes.
got less and less excited for it.
Yeah,
because it was like you gotta have boots, you gotta have ski goggles, you gotta have sweatpants or snow pants, and like if you don't win, you're sleeping outside. And we're like, oh my God, like he's like, these are all the challenges, blah 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 blah. And it's like, what are we doing
on a Sunday?
Sunday, like you'll be back in time for work on Monday. It's like, no, dude, like that's crazy.
In fairness, I didn't even commit to going until the day before.
Yeah,
so we committed before.
Remember, I came to the office with
I was like,
Media
I'm not
Bridge,
going.
and you're like, I'm not going. I was like, all right, if she's not going, then like, is this going to be fun? Like, why is she not going?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's what everyone was asking. Like, our director of sales is like, Claire, just go. And I'm like, well, I'm not. Like, I felt like I was almost overstepping because I'm like, I'm not an employee. Like, this is like you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
But I know them all so well that I was like, okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the packing list. So
yeah,
they picked me up at 5 a.m. And the only thing I brought was my down comforter because I still wanted to sleep on the drive. And some pillows, and I think I made them stop to get Advil, and I didn't bring one other thing, so I was more of a detriment than I was contributing.
Yeah, but your team won.
Well, obviously my team won.
I disagree. I think Ben missed. I'm gonna go on record. I think he missed the finish, and Jack Burke's team actually.
Oh, actually, I started that fire. I'll defend this all day. We won.
No way.
100%. I knew this was going to come up. I'm totally prepared to defend this to the nines.
Let me see. Let me hear your perspective.
Rebuttal.
Okay.
Clara.
Okay. So, the whole day we were clearly in the lead. Like, I don't think it was really a question. Jake, our director of sales, brought everything under the sun, including like a propane tank to heat his tent.
Yeah, he did.
What a hardo.
I knew he was on my team, so I'm like, okay, we don't have to do anything. So we were in an advantage. We had like 5 machetes, a bunch of rope, like we could do anything. And
you also had 6 people.
We had 6 people.
Which, looking at a guy who was on a team with 4.
And 2 guys had 5. I was curious. Why did you guys?
How does that work? Why did I not have?
Well, they had 6. They had 5, and then I tacked on. They let me pick my team. That was part of the caveat.
She didn't pick my team. I guess I'm not fearless enough. I'm not a fearless enough leader for you.
Well, which
is fine. I'm pretty spineless.
I figured Jake would like bring snacks and stuff too. So I was like, okay, well, if we're out there, I'm gonna want some Cheetos. Like, I just was being selfish.
You're strategically
Sorry.
selfish.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is totally fine. But anyways.
In the wilderness, though, it's like
every man for themselves.
Primitive.
Man
it's
and
dog
woman
eat
for
dog.
themselves.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't have a choice, really.
Yeah, you didn't. Didn't matter what those Cheetos were at that point, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's primitive.
Anyway, we're winning. You guys kind of catch up, I guess. I think Ben was just trying to even the score to make it more competitive. I mean, we had like do we have a lighter? I don't even remember how this goes.
Everyone had lighters.
Yeah, we had a lighter.
Yeah.
And we had like the little teepee going with the birch. So this was a big thing. Travis and I all day, every birch tree we saw, we'd rip off the birch because it starts fires the best.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought that nobody else knew that. So we were like super cocky about it all day. Like we're like, oh, we have this birch pile of kindling. Like these guys are going down. I think you guys had birch too.
So my team came in second to last. Dex was last, but Jack's team.
Quick plug.
Yeah, quick plug. Jack's team was the team that I believe should have won, and I was standing, from my perspective, I was standing in between the two fires, and Ben was facing your guys' fire. His back was to Jack's team's fire. And
that's just marketing at that point. I mean, you need to be more captivating. If Ben was 100% looking at us,
I was yelling at Ben. I think I actually got a little mean. I was like, Ben, turn the fuck around.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then he got.
But by then, our fire was already so big. I mean, you couldn't even. Yeah, no, I started it under the birch thing, and it was the only thing I contributed to all day. So I was really excited. So, I mean,
we had a pile of flint, or not flint, lint.
Lint, yeah.
Like just made to start fires, and we got a foot flame like within 30 seconds. And I mean that was the last.
I think you could have.
That was the
been
last
DQ'd
piece of the
cheating.
puzzle. Like, not only did we win that, the
log carrying.
The log carrying.
Oh,
where
were
you
you
had
on
to
the-
go bring trees.
Yeah.
The rule was the second person or the first person who brought a tree back.
That's who you had to carry.
That's who you had to carry.
Which most teams pick the strongest person to bring the log back.
Yeah,
Because it's
and
like,
Ben-
hurry up.
Daniel was
Yeah.
who we ended up
Hot
having.
legs Daniel, dude.
He was
Yeah.
who we ended up having to carry.
Yeah.
But he was not the first person who brought a tree back.
Who
And
was?
it was like a fact. It was
Jerry?
nope.
Danny.
Jer would have been the best one to carry by far. You guys would have won if you were carrying Jer.
Jordan?
It was Jordan.
It's
Jordan.
Jordan.
Oh.
So if
Jordan would have been 10 times better to carry
yeah,
than
and
Daniel.
it was like you can't argue.
I love
facts.
Daniel though.
You can't argue
No,
facts.
yeah,
Like
that's
Jordan
true.
was the
That's
first
true.
one, and Ben was just like, nope, fuck you guys.
In fairness, in fairness, we tried to like rig the system and have me bring the tree back first, but we ended up having to carry Travis. So I had to carry Travis on a little log throne on my shoulder
Yeah, so
And
the
then-
whole way. So like,
and then our camp was way further than everyone else.
Yeah,
You had a monster
that
camp.
was just that was
Like
just
it
bad
was
luck.
just rigged to lose us,
Yeah.
dude, you guys,
make us lose.
Yeah.
the grit that your team had with Jerry and yourself and Jordan and
Yeah.
Daniel, like, I mean, you guys are by far my favorite team, looking from behind, of course. But that challenge alone, like the whole cot carrying, like carry the guy who was the first to carry the log or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, you were in the worst situation by far, but it was really nice to come in second place to Claire's team on that event and then just like be hammering White Claws for literally the next 2 hours until you guys came back. And to see you guys come
Yeah,
back.
we were throwing a party.
We
as
were
you guys
throwing a party around
we
the
were like,
fire.
We were like, okay, what adventure? We're raging. Like
Yeah.
this is now a party. Like we're not competing anymore.
Yeah.
I got back in between your guys, so you guys finished like right away, like 30 minutes it took you. It took me
Yeah.
like an hour and a half, and then it took Jack's team 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Watching you guys come back, I was dumbfounded by the effort that you continued to put it, because it was like literally we're out here like literally just doing whatever Ben tells us, and
Which to his credit, I mean,
we all bought
to
in.
get that many people to buy in, I mean,
Yeah.
everyone was full committed.
Which
oh yeah.
shocked
Full
me.
committed.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the last team that came out, I would have been like, "Fuck no, I'm not carrying
Yeah.
Danny."
Yeah.
It was grueling.
Yeah.
Like it was physically exhausting
Yeah.
and mentally exhausting.
But that's the whole point of the challenges, right? Like you get together, everyone pushed through. Looking back on it, it's like, why didn't we quit? Why didn't we do this? Like, why didn't I look at Ben and say, fuck off? Like, but you don't do it in the moment because you're like, okay, there's no way we're not getting Daniel over this finish line. Like the group mentality of it is the coolest thing ever.
It is.
Agreed, and that's what was pretty awesome. Even though it sucked, Jack, I'm beyond impressed.
We probably
by your
burned
team.
a lot of calories.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just being optimistic.
And then we ingested so many calories at that little pizza joint place.
Oh my gosh,
dude, we were
Ben ordered like
slanging
20 pizzas.
That was the Duke game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They almost lost.
Yeah.
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 It was getting dive bars in Minnesota. We're getting
lit.
rowdy.
Yeah, I think a bunch of them started yelling at us too.
Oh,
we
yeah,
were
they
like too
hated
invested.
us.
Oh, they hated us,
They're
right?
They were
this
like-
is Minnesota. Why are you watching basketball?
Yeah, they're like, what is this dumb sport? Like, we don't watch this sport in Minnesota. We're like, basketball?
Zion Williams, he was born in 2000. So stupid. But remember we like put all those tables together and the waitresses and waiters were
and it was,
pissed.
and then we were trying to take 35 fireball shots because it was Andrew's
Andrew's
birthday.
That was
And Andrew,
awesome.
low-key, Andrew like hates Fireball.
I struggle drinking Fireball.
Really?
He's got a weak stomach.
Oh.
Well, when I was like
The Woodchuck
17,
boys would be your
downfall.
enemies. I mean,
Yeah.
John,
we had 400 Fireball shots for Ben's book launch.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
That was wild.
we were really
You were
Fireball.
hanging- Yeah,
Fireball is water around there, which, better or for worse, it's pretty chill.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you told me this before. I don't know if you want to go on record with this, but didn't you and John, the co-founder of Woodchuck, John?
Yeah, I know.
You
John.
and I just wanted to make sure.
You're scaring me.
Did you? No. You were like, yeah, me and John, we would take at least one Fireball shot every day when you were at Woodchuck.
Well, not intentionally, but like 2 p.m. rolls around and it's like, what should we just do some Fireball? Like, yeah.
Wow. So it is
That
water.
we shut that down in 2019. It was a
2019.
2018 initiative.
Got it.
Yeah.
And it
2019 is definitely a new year, new lot. Everyone changed
Mm-hmm.
in 2019. I'd say.
I will
Totally.
say, and going off 2019, I would say 2020 is going to be sick. Like just
I'm
tagging 2020 at the end of anything next year is going to just be amazing. Like it's something I'm so excited for that. Like even saying Decky 2020 gets me fired up, dude.
You saying Decky anything gets you fired up.
Yeah.
You could be like Decky Subway 6 inch. I can't talk.
6
6 inch, and you're so excited.
Decky 6 inch.
Decky bike ride. It's like it's a Tuesday night, Decky. Calm down. By the way, anyone in my friend group who knows you, like anytime you snap, post, do anything, whatever you're doing, we just say like, oh, Decky dinner. Oh, Decky construction vest. Like it's like a term. Like we like say it in our sentences.
All right, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You
That I like to hear.
Don't let that go to your head. I probably
No, I'm
told you
so
that.
He wants to start a T-shirt line on Decky whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Get a girl involved for the design, but other than that, I think you could do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see our penis shirts? Our
Jack, you want to
logo?
pull one of those out?
Yeah. By accident, we didn't realize it. Yeah.
So this was our talk about like, trial by fire, right?
Yeah.
The whole to your right, Jack, to your right, in the little cupboard.
Right there.
Cupboard.
Yeah.
Yep. Just grab one of those. Hand it to Clara. So yeah. I'll turn that over.
So they look good at first.
Yeah, swing the camera over. Yeah. So we had the idea of making T-shirts for Backpocket, and as you can see,
Now turn it sideways.
yeah, let's see, turn around.
Show the camera.
Show the camera. Well, actually, she's got to see it herself first too. But okay, so look, normal Backpocket T-shirt.
Normal.
Look, good job. Bella canvas, white. Buy 40 of them, 50 of them, sell them online. We're like, cool. All right, now rotate it to your left. Other way.
50-50 chance.
Yeah. There you go. Now turn it around.
That's a penis.
face to you now.
That's a full.
Oh, I can see the shadow.
Oh,
I
God.
can see the shadow.
It's a penis.
Just an FYI, it's a penis this way or that way.
It doesn't matter how you're wearing it. It's a full-on dick.
And we didn't realize it until one of our good buddies, we gave him the shirt, and he just looks at me. He turns it and he goes, penis. And I go,
Oh. Yeah, I have a lot to say about this.
Did you
but
recognize
I'm
that
just-
prior to that?
No.
No.
Yeah, neither did we.
No.
So now we just announced
No,
it to
just
the
like I
world.
didn't recognize that I should have been making $69 instead of 68. You pervs.
What pervs?
It's just a
Excuse
good
me.
joke.
It's just fun.
Excuse
It's just
me.
fun to dance around it. Okay.
That's true. All right, but anyway, just make sure you get a girl to help with the design. But
We can do
Decky
that.
2020, I think you could.
I want to do Decky Nation, dude, or Declination.
Oh gosh,
that shit would be funny. I don't know. I got a lot of different.
Decky Bad Style. I think that's my
Decky
favorite.
Bad Style was a good one because I don't wear any clothes that fit me.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Your sock game is usually strong.
Not today.
Usually. I think there's holes in that one.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, there is. God damn it. Just put these on today.
It's okay. It's Saturday.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Saturday. Oh, yeah, I don't even know where to go with that. But, whatever.
So now, day to day, you have the opportunity to work on a lake because of your job. Not specifically lakes all the time, but like the freedom of where you want it to
You have
be.
liberation.
And,
Totally. Yeah. So like I have a flexible schedule. I like set my own hours per se. There's pros and cons though. Like I'm never not on my phone. So like I have a call at 4:30 today. I have like most nights, like my Instagram posting and all that stuff is at like 9:15 p.m. So like people are going happy hours, they're doing all this stuff, and it's like, okay, I'll have one glass of wine, but I'm not like sitting at the Loop having cocktails, because it's like, okay, most of my stuff is happening from like 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. and then on weekends. So like even when I'm out of town, like I'm working. So it's a double-edged sword. I like it. My brain works that way. And I can't, like, I'm really bad at being told to like come to an office at 8 a.m. and then leave at 5. It's just not good for me.
All right. I mean, like, that's a great point to highlight, is like, it's not, you don't have to always, or it's one thing to like sell that lifestyle and be like, yeah, it's liberating, it's this and that.
Yeah.
And there is pros and cons, and like you said, but people do like the 9 to 5. People love that structure and that regiment. Like we were talking on our back end show the other day, like Jack Burke loves routine. Like he loves the things that he does every day. And when you get out of that routine, like go on vacation or something, then you realize how much you actually appreciate that routine.
And a lot of my friends will ask me too, like that want to do their own thing, that have a 9 to 5 right now. They have like a side hustle. They're like, I want to make it full time. What do I need to do? What do I need to know? And like the one thing I say is like, you need to be addicted to it. Like you have to have an addictive enough personality that it's like what consumes you. Because if you don't have the structure of a 9 to 5, you don't have a boss checking in on you. Like you have to be addicted enough to it to do it all the time. And if you're not, like you're just kind of setting yourself up for like distraction, for, you know what I mean? Like and think of any person who's trying to start a company.
Let's walk through Andy and Deck doing a full-time podcast. I think about this all the time, and it kind of scares me.
Yep. You can't think about it. You can't overthink it. That's the other thing. You
just
can't have emotion towards it.
Good point.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, but, anyways, keep going.
Yeah, but no, like, you guys, like, everyone gets so scared about, like, the money and the whatever else. And, like, it's so cliche and easy for me to sit here and just be like, oh, don't think about it. But, like, you literally can't think about it. Like, you have to just be like, okay, obviously be smart. Like, have enough money in your bank account for 6 to 8 months that you can live. And, like I had a root canal on Monday. $6,000 later, here I am. Like, you have to plan for that stuff. But, like, you can't let it stop you. And you can't, like, think, what if I fail? What if I do this? Like, you're probably going to fail. But, like, you just got to, like, do it. Like, you can't overthink it. Like, I want you both to quit your jobs within the next 2 months, and just like, you're going to have no choice but to do podcast recordings all day, and you're going to have no choice. But when you're told no, that to somebody to come on, like, you're not going to just be like, okay, dude, thanks, and walk away. You're going to be like, no, like, you need to come on our goddamn podcast. Like, you're not getting an option because, like, I need to freaking eat dinner, you know? So, like, it switches something in your brain. Dude. Like, I think you guys need to just do it. Because think of how easy it is. You approach some famous person. You're like, oh, hey, can you come on our podcast? They're like, no. You're like, okay, cool, nice. But if it was your full-time thing where, like, getting, you know, so-and-so on your podcast was going to change your freaking life, like, you're not going to just not do that. Yeah. Like, you'll ask 16 times, and then when you get no 16 times, you're going to have somebody else go ask 16 times, you know? Yeah. Like, it just changes your, like, the dynamics of, I guess, the hunt. Yeah, because it's not like the hunt changed. Like, the goals are still inevitable, and the goals are still structured within our podcast, but it's like your mentality for it is more survival and more. You need it. You need it more. Yeah, it becomes more of a need instead of a want. And I would even say, like, from a logistical standpoint, it's much more doable for someone who is already in their own walk of life. Like, take like a Chad Greenway. Like, we did the podcast with Chad Greenway at 8:30 in the morning. Like, he was getting his day started to then kickstart his day to then go, like, do Grey Duck Vodka stuff the rest of the day. Yeah. Grey Duck Vodka and our podcast were together in that sense. Whereas, like,
we were asking Chad Green to come on at 6 p.m. because we have day jobs doing other stuff, and then his 6 p.m. time is like for his friends, for his family, and his 4 kids. So it's like,
and that's the other thing. Like, if you can have somebody who's like, it only works for me at 10:30 a.m. on a Wednesday,
right? Boom.
Like, you need to cater to that.
That's more opportunity for us.
Totally. Like, you need to like not say no to anybody, and like you're gonna be in this room more than you probably would want to, but like you're gonna love it because you need it more. You know.
Yeah.
So when should let's set a date. For you guys
we
both
we
to
have
be
one.
unemployed.
Yeah.
You do?
We have a
Okay.
date.
Let's expedite it. Let's move it up.
No, I like our date.
Okay,
like
what's
our
the date?
date.
What's the date?
January 2020.
January 1,
January
2020.
1.
January 1, 2020.
That's half a year.
Less
I
than
did the
half a
math.
year.
Oh, yeah, by like 5 days.
Yeah.
Less than half a year by 5 days.
Okay. Good point.
Decky's counting down.
Yeah. Thank you, numbers.
Thank you, numbers.
I mean, I think that's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can do it before then, but we'll revisit.
Hey,
this
we appreciate the
conversation.
belief. I love that you believe in us.
You're buying in.
And that's what we need. We need people like that. So thank you.
Mhm.
And what we do on this podcast that helps us continue to have more people buy in is always recognizing our average qualities. We are wildly average guys, as average as they come. But we have an extraordinary passion to have conversations with people with awesome stories such as yourself. So I want to ask you, what is your average quality?
Being on time. You guys know this about
punctuality.
me.
So that requires you being on time
at some point.
Yeah, right?
Totally. Okay, yeah, like my good friend Paige, shout out if you're watching this. She's going to be like, she will lie to me about what time things are so that I'm on time.
There's a lot of distrust between you and Paige.
Totally. And I told her I had to have like an adult conversation and be like, okay, I'm going to work on being there. Like, she'd be like, if you're going to tell me we're hanging out at 2, don't come hang out with me at 4:30. Like,
that's a long time later.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, just, it like took me a long time realizing like I am so type B with that kind of stuff. And like, I don't get offended if someone's an hour late. Like, if someone is like, oh, I'll be at your house at noon and they come at 1:30, I'm like, what's up? Like, I don't care at all.
Yeah.
But like, people are not like that. And especially in the business world, like, you need to be punctual and you need to, like, 5 minutes early is on time kind of thing.
Yep.
And when it's like life or death, I'm on time. But when it's not life or death, sometimes I find myself just like
going with the wind,
chilling.
Yeah. I feel like you would fit in a really in a
New Zealand,
a polychronic time frame where it's like so much looser.
Yeah.
Like here, it's monochronic, like you said.
I just was visiting a friend in Tennessee from New Zealand, and like they were trying to get us out of the house, and they're like, this is like hurting cats, because we're both just like, whatever. Like, just has never been in my DNA to be like super
punctual.
Sure.
So is this something you're working on? Like, or
I'm
what are you
actively
doing to,
working on it. Yeah.
What are you doing to try and be more?
Do you
punctual?
pinch yourself every single time you're late?
No,
because people do that.
I don't do well with negative reinforcement.
How about 5 push-ups?
That's also negative reinforcement. I usually just like go buy myself coffee after I'm on time.
That's
positive.
God.
I need positive reinforcement.
You're rewarding yourself.
Yeah. So when I'm on time, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get some cotton candy.
Nice, good work.
Yeah, but when I'm not on time, I'm like,
choose cotton candy over like Reese's cups?
Oh yeah, every time.
Okay.
Cotton candy, really.
My favorite food's vanilla frosting, so I just like straight sugar, like Pez, Peeps, cotton candy, candy corn, vanilla frosting.
Wow.
Not in that order though. But yeah.
Starbursts?
No.
Oh, too chewy?
Just too much stuff. Like, I just want straight sugar.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not messing with flavors. I don't really like chocolate. Just
straight up vanilla.
Yeah.
Right on.
But yeah, that's for sure my average quality. For sure.
So
if not like, below average, it might be below average.
Well, so when you are on time,
for sure below average.
When you
that's
are
like my bad quality.
No.
But you're working on it.
No, you're working on it. That's the whole point. You're identifying it, so therefore,
cool.
It'll. I don't know if it'll be a strength one day. That's how you're working, but
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But yeah, exactly. So, but like when you are on time, what are the key attributes leading up to being on time that you execute on so you're there?
Like just self-discipline, straight up. Like I'll go to leave my apartment and I'll look at my dog and I'll be like, oh, she wants to go outside one more time. Like just like stupid stuff. Like I have to. It's not even like OCD. I just like everything to be clean. So like I Swiffer my apartment. I clean every surface before I leave.
Wow.
I don't need to do that stuff. Like there's going to be dog hair on the floor when I come home no matter what. So it's like, okay, just like you don't need a Swiffer, just freaking leave. It's just like a self-discipline thing, you know?
Got it. Even that you're aware of that though. You're making strides.
Yeah, it's stressful to be aware of though, because like, because then you're like, why am I the way I am? And then you're just like, well,
whatever. This is me.
We'll
you're trying to get better at it. Punctuality, your average quality. But next question is, what's in your back pocket? And this is something when pressure becomes stress, anxiety's rising. This is what you pull out of your back pocket to overcome these situations.
So I have 2 things in my back pocket. The first one is my favorite thing of the summer.
Oh, here we go.
This is aggressive for a
It's
Saturday.
in your purse, not your back pocket. What?
You'll understand why I wasn't in my back pocket.
Okay.
Can you guys stand up?
You can get a draw. Oh,
do we need to stand up?
Yeah.
Can you get this on camera? Can I get
on camera, Jack?
This is what's in my back pocket.
That is beautiful.
Damn it, dude.
That's what you get, boys. Noon on Sat, and they're warm. They've been in my car since 4th of July.
What? You don't tell us that. You don't tell us that.
Can I social media this?
Yeah, this is hilarious.
Yeah, Mike.
Back pocket ever.
All right, boys. First back pocket icing here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get down.
Okay, you gotta get down on one knee. That's the rules.
Deck, go the other knee.
Oh, dude, my mic's falling over, but.
You got it.
Oh, yeah, you good, dude? Oh, I need to go other knee?
No, you're good. I'm bringing the mic down. Mike is in the.
Mike's in the mics.
Mics. We got mics.
Should we get a countdown?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. She gone.
It's a race.
It is a race, and I think Decky is powering through. Woo!
Boom, baby.
Andrew, I like the finesse on. I like your finesse though.
Thank you.
Style points.
I don't row for speed. I row for watts.
Yeah, I'm a meters. Oh wait, no, you're a meters guy.
That's distance. Yeah, you're for power.
Can I go on record and say that was the best back pocket
Absolutely. I
I've
love
ever
icing.
witnessed.
You guys, the best thing ever. This is like the highlight of like whenever I go to the liquor store. I'll be like, hey, do you guys have Smirnoff Ice? Every time it's like a different reaction, and like apparently it's a total taboo thing, and everyone goes, yeah, and it's always in like the back corner behind all the trendy new White Claw knockoffs. But I always have Smirnoff Ice in my car.
I am so thankful you brought that. That was unreal, and you know us too well. So well done.
Yeah. Yep. That was the highlight of my week too.
Well done. That's why you didn't have it in your back pocket. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I usually get a little more creative with my presentation, by the way, but you know.
Dude, that was impressive. Yeah. We just got iced on this podcast for the first time. We've been doing this for 2.5 years.
Okay. What else is in my back pocket? So what was the question? Sorry.
Yeah. When pressure becomes stress and anxiety's rising, this is what you take out of your back pocket mentally or habitually to overcome these situations.
Okay. I would just say like not confidence, because like that doesn't I guess exemplify everything that I'm thinking of, but just like not overthinking something, like having enough, I guess, confidence in yourself to know like, okay, this is something I have no idea what it is, but like I'm smart enough to figure it out, or somebody around me is smart enough to figure it out, and I like can trust that. Just like the ability to not ever think you can't do it. So like when I was little, I would convince my cousins that my toys were less cool because I wanted their toys. So I'd be like, no, mine's like super cool. Like their stuff was way cooler. I'd be like, all the kids at school want mine. So we'd trade, and then I'd like get better toys, you know? So like,
wow.
Like I've always just like thought like, why, like there's no way I couldn't do it. Like even if I don't have that skill, even if I don't like whatever, you just have to figure it out, and you can't like overthink, oh, am I going to fail? Oh, am I going to do this? Like, yeah, you're for sure going to fail, but like, who cares? Like, why? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, I like that. I mean, manipulation could also be in your back pocket. If we're being
I didn't
real.
want to bring it up.
Yeah. but that manipulation turned into something special. So
I don't want to say my mom would like fully agree with you on that one, but she for sure would.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, Mom.
I was picking something up, but I love that mentality. Like I really do love that mentality, because it makes that first step or that next step that much easier. And yeah, sure, you could say like you're not being thoughtful or thinking enough in that situation, but ultimately, like what you learn on the back end of just confidently taking that step, making like just being wholeheartedly in that moment is so important. And
Totally.
I think like you've obviously gone leaps and bounds through everything that you've done by doing that.
And you have
it's
to like
awesome.
you have to care about it too. Like this is like a thing I think especially in commercial real estate recruiting, like being a girl is such an advantage because like I just naturally like really care about anything I'm doing. So if it's something that I'm doing for a client that I don't know how to do it, it's like, okay, but like I care enough about it and I'm like so invested that I'm just going to figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? So like having that like genuine element of like, okay, I really do give a shit about this. And it's like, just like I'm emotionally attached to it. Like that really helps, I guess, like the entire process of just like not allowing failure to overtake. Dude. If that makes sense.
That's awesome.
Freaking awesome. I love that.
Not to get deep after the icing, but
So the guy that came on, he'll be next week's podcast is Cavi Brennan. We went through some serious rabbit holes on that podcast before you came over. So
really?
Yeah. Some serious rabbit holes.
Is that why you guys were on a video game break when I came in?
Yeah, we were gonna play. It was our buddy put together a 4th of July video of our weekend, and he had just sent it over, so we were gonna watch that. But,
oh my gosh!
But it's 9 minutes long.
Yeah.
So if you want to hang around,
right.
we can watch it in the war room after this. But
I owe you guys 11 minutes, 14 technically.
Yeah.
We could watch it 1.5 times.
Sweet. But we have been hammering you with questions all day, and I think they've been good questions, to be honest. Like I feel confident in decky questions. So I want to know if you have any questions for us.
I have a lot of questions for you guys.
Okay.
I guess my main question would be between now and Jan 1, 2020, what are the steps you're going to take to make Backpocket your full time?
I wish we had our whiteboard over there because we have those steps. I'll start with a couple.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we picked that date. We picked the date and then we reverse engineered backwards.
Love
Can I start it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I just want to make this the main thing we talk about every single time now is the idea of mirror image marketing. And that's like our new tagline of how we are articulating what we've been doing. So Declan and I, for the past 2 years, the Backpocket has been a mirror, a reflection of where we are in our lives. Wherever Declan and I are in our lives, that's what Backpocket is at that moment. And it's just been breeding that authentic personality throughout. And when we have our guests on, we do our best to make sure that you feel like you are putting out a mirror image reflection of yourself. We're not forcing you into some type of be this type of person. We want you to be yourself and talk about what you love. And that idea we're trying to present to brands and to partners that we can start to collaborate with. And that's the sponsorships that we're looking for. And that's the way that we believe we want to grow our reach. And we think if we do that, the intrinsic reward will come, and like the monetary value, people are going to start to see it. It's going to be much harder because it's not like, we're speaking to Star Wars fans every time.
Yeah.
We're speaking to people that love football every time or something like that. We're so widespread that it's hard. But if we focus on that mirror image mentality, I think that's going to be our competitive advantage.
And that's like what makes us unique, because we're out there, we're running Facebook campaigns and trying to really put ourselves out there and start drawing a more wider audience, starting to scale our audience more. And we were like, what makes us unique? Like, what do we do that no one else does? And it's just that thing. It's like we're being radically transparent. We're being super authentic with what we're doing. And we're trying to, we're dedicating our time to the other people, such as yourself, to really like to talk about themselves. They talk about their story and doing what you love. That is like the impetus of what is really cool about the guests that come on. All the stuff that you said is just awesome. And what's fun is that this is a podcast that we've now learned how to actually podcast. We've learned how to film it. We've learned how to chop it up into social media content. We've learned
By the way, you guys, I meant to give you this compliment. I've had people be like, oh, I love how they do the video segments that has the bar on the bottom that tells you how much time's left.
Yeah.
The progress bar.
Yes, the progress bar is a game changer.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Thanks.
because you commit. You're like, oh, how long is this stupid video? But it's like you can see. So
yes.
you stay. I stay on it every time because I watch the the progress bar. And
I'm
then
halfway.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Hopefully it's cool. Yeah. So good job on that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. But I mean, back to our point is like we're starting to figure out like the
little things,
the process behind this bigger picture of like doing what you love. So, you know, I think one of the other things that we're really trying to get into is, you know, maybe speaking to like where we want to speak to high school students about doing what you love. We want to then run Facebook campaigns to people about doing what you love. We want to get on more people that are doing what they love, just trying to triple down and scale that and see, hopefully by the time January 2020 comes, Andrew and I are full-time podcasters. So
I love that.
That's where we're at.
Thanks for that question.
Yeah,
of
sweet.
course.
Any others?
Thanks for the very intricate answer.
Yeah, we try.
What festival is next? Are we going to have something in between now and Boatchella?
Yes.
I feel like we need to
There's
mix in the winter.
3 events a year. First one is like the anniversary. That's in February. That's like when we first started podcasting.
Okay.
So
what's the date?
It's like usually it's the end of February.
Okay.
No specific date on that. And then Boatchella 2 will be in the June read.
June 20th, 2020
range. Maybe. I'm thinking the 13th.
Okay.
I've been told that the
why so?
No, actually you did the math on it already.
Yeah.
The weekends before and after the 4th of July, we've realized are still heavy like boat cabin season.
Bachelor party
but
type.
Wedding.
We got to go a little bit before that. We got to go further before.
For sure.
We also got to put it on people's calendars. Like, I mean, quite frankly,
January.
Right now.
Yeah. And right now. Yeah.
Right now.
So
lock down that date,
June
maybe.
20th, 2020.
Yeah. And then the next event is Halloween. We love throwing Halloween parties.
Yeah, we did a Halloween concert in our backyard last year, but
really,
yeah. So
Halloween is like one of my 4th of July and Halloween are like the 2 days that you can just do whatever and like nothing matters.
Agreed.
Yes.
That's
so
why we
great.
love it too. Yeah.
Like my mood last week, I was like everyone's like, why are you so happy? I'm like, it's July 4th. Like they're like,
yeah.
So I'm like, you can do anything. Like,
you can literally do anything.
This only happens twice a year.
Yeah. Anything goes.
Feel that.
Yeah.
Literally.
America's Day.
Seriously. Okay, so Halloween party. Let me know if you guys need any content for it.
Will do.
I'll be there.
Awesome.
On
Love
air.
to hear that.
All right, here we go.
On air committing.
Sweet.
Let's go.
Honestly, I don't really like to dress up for Halloween, but I'll make an exception.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
We appreciate
right
that.
on.
Yeah.
That's so weird because you love Halloween, but you don't like dressing up.
Well, I just like the I guess the mentality around it.
It's a big
I
fuckery,
also have
just
been
like people being idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been an inanimate object for Halloween for the past 6 years.
Inanimate, like what kind of?
Not of animation.
Okay, so like a ketchup bottle.
Like 1 year I was a dropped pin, like the emoji. 1 year I was a rock, which this was my friend Alexis's fault. She wanted to be Medusa, and I was the rock.
Sure.
This was actually a serious fail. Like we were at a Halloween party with all of my friends that know who I am. Not one person recognized me because I was in this rock costume.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was super embarrassing.
Picture here.
Yeah, picture here. This is
what you're on YouTube.
If you're on
Okay.
YouTube, this is what it looks
I
like.
can maybe dig one up. I think I might have gotten a couple new burners and stuff.
Erased them all.
Ooh.
But we have 2 final questions for you. The
Yep.
first one is a challenge. Just on us. You get to challenge us who we want to have on our show. It could be one of your best friends, or it could be someone you're like, I don't think you could get this person, but I think you should try. Who would you challenge us with?
Okay. I've been thinking about this. This is the question that has kind of stumped me. Have you guys had David Burke on here yet from Great Lakes Clothing?
No, we have not.
No, yeah, we've been.
Okay.
It's like Spencer and David, right?
Yep.
So you want David on?
Berkey is my challenge too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I've met him a few times.
He's a St. Thomas guy too.
Yep.
Sweet.
He's a good dude.
Super solid. Yeah. So.
Challenge accepted.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck, boys.
Would it be okay? So now that we have 4 mics, do you think it would be beneficial to have both of them on the same time?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so get Spencer in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Double challenge.
We can do that.
Are you the same age as those guys?
1 year younger.
1 year. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Got it.
Yeah.
So them. Perfect.
And then our final question, simple question. What did you learn today from the moment that you woke up to when we're having this conversation?
From the moment I woke up.
Well, it could be if you didn't go to bed till after midnight, you could have had a few hours in that range as well.
Yeah, I did. I sober cabbed until about 2:15 a.m. last night.
Wow. Yeah. Look at you go.
Yeah. I didn't learn anything during it though. I learned that this is hard.
That was a simple question.
Oh, I learned about Starbucks' new Nitro Brew coffee.
It's amazing.
Have you guys had that?
Yeah.
You get jittery after that.
I don't like. Yeah, I am
Get the
not.
tall or grande? What were you going with?
I'd say medium, like a rookie. I don't even know the.
I don't know
Neither
either.
do
I just know.
I think
tall
it's
and
grande. I think it's grande.
Tall
Is it
is
this big?
small.
Is it this big or this big?
That big.
Tall is
This big?
small.
Yeah. Tall. Not
Tall.
small.
Okay, so you have the
Yeah.
smaller
No.
one.
Tall is small.
Tall is the small one.
Oh,
Grande
then
is like a little bigger.
large.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but their nitro brew, you can get it with almond milk too,
Oh wow.
or add almond milk.
Did you do
It's-
that?
Oh yeah. That's why I was in my car. I was drinking my coffee.
Just sitting there. You could have come in.
I was
in the
actually
house
seriously
and
just
drank
drinking
it.
my nitro brew.
Wow.
I needed to get like revved up. It was noon on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
So we last week on Saturday we did an interview with his dad, and he brought over nitros with scones, and we had.
I should have got you guys one. That was really selfish of me.
Oh,
That's
you got a
all right.
slice. You got a.
Yeah, I
ices.
already
You
would-
did
yeah,
some
that's
nice.
true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's true. I also should have brought my third ice in, but
God and Jack. Yeah.
know.
Oh, Jack, you escaped.
Jack
this
has
time.
actual duties right now. He's filming.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
so.
He can't be
important.
impaired.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Jack, how do you like the new setup? Do you like having your own mic and everything?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I like that element.
but I can't be drinking while on the job.
No.
All right, Jack, I'll put you on the
Drinking
spot.
on the job is frowned upon.
Yes, actually, not really, because we had mimosas with Chad Greenway the other day
Oh,
at like 9 a.m.
On the podcast?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was sick.
With the gray duck.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was
That's awesome.
Well, that was like one of those moments, though, to back to your point, and Chad brought it up on the podcast, dude. It's like, dude, you guys love doing this. Like,
Yeah.
you could be drinking mimosas with Chad Greenway
Yeah.
at 9 a.m.
I don't.
if you
Tuesday.
want to.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you'll
I mean, that's
okay.
like a cliche thing, but
Mark
seriously.
my words, you guys will remember this. Like when you are doing it full time, like yeah, there'll be some days where you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like you're just so confused. Then there's some days where like 6 things go right and you're like it's like the most euphoric feeling ever. Like you're so happy. And then you like see someone and they're like, what's going on with you? And you're like you have no answer. You're just like so happy. Like yeah,
Well,
it's a great feeling.
I was telling Andrew when we finished that Greenway podcast, because he freaking knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And
Wait, has that one launched yet?
it'll be, real time right now.
Yeah,
It's coming out Monday.
Okay.
From the time your podcast is released, it was last week's podcast.
Okay. Cool.
So, but you know, like when we were walking out of there, I was just
Cloud
waving
nine.
to every single person. Like I was at stoplights, just like giving people like the rock on and shit. Like it was so funny. I walk into work and like they all knew I
Decky Good Mood, what's up?
yeah, dude, Decky Sunshine is what they call me typically.
Cute.
She likes that one. All right, cool.
That's a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's a t-shirt.
I'll design that one for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you're on record.
I can
saying
draw
that.
sunshines. It's my only artistic talent.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
we got
right place, right time.
But I show up to work and they all knew I was interviewing Chad Greenway, and I walked into like a meeting. They're like, "Dude, how was it? How you feeling?" I go, "I'm on cloud 9, boys," and they just all laughed at me. I was like, "All right, back at work."
Back to
I was
work.
like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that back to back all day. Like
Yeah, it'd be
It's-
freaking dope, dude.
it's fun.
There's a
It's
lot
fun.
there.
It will be dope.
Decky Sunshine 2020.
Yeah. You're gonna ask Jack something?
Oh yeah, Jack, want to put you on the spot here. We might incorporate this as like a question later, but producer question of the day. Do you got any questions for
Ooh.
Clara?
Oh God, this is scary.
What's your favorite part about being a marketer, a social media marketer for different brands and companies?
I would say like the success of people resonating with your brand. So like when we do something that clearly had like super high engagement or was different and everybody like received it really well, it's so exciting to look at the numbers. And like I'm not a numbers person at all, but I like stalk our analytics. Like I look at analytics probably 6 times a day, just like to see the fluctuation. And when you have that like peak and when you have the like just significant increase over something you did, it's so exciting.
You can
You're like,
tangibly
hell
see
yes.
the difference
Yeah,
that you made.
and that's something in marketing that like a lot of people not struggle with, but like a lot of it isn't tangible. You know, it's like a little fluffy. Like you throw it out there, it's like, oh, we hope they like our imaging, like content, whatever. Like the tangibility of being like, hell yeah, like that freaking worked, and like we got 6,000 comments and like whatever. Like that is what is exciting to me.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
awesome.
and then bringing that to, and like half the time, like you don't know what's gonna work. So like trying something and having it work, you're like, fuck yeah. But most of the time, it's like, okay, next time we'll like get something that's cool. But yeah, I'd say that's my favorite part for sure.
Nice. That's awesome.
All right,
Great
freaking
question,
love
Jack.
that. Is it because we already asked all of our questions? So we're That's a wrap, dude. Good shit, Clara.
It's a wrap.
That was fun.
Should have brought more ices for the
No
final.
worries. We got some gray duck over here. We might get
yeah.
after some of that. We got white.
We got a 4th
downstairs.
of July video to watch.
You got a 4th of July video to watch.
Yeah.
So that's it for me, man.
On that note,
thank you.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Well, I've been hanging on the west coast of my heart, right where I'm meant to from the start. It's so much warmer than the secrets you've been holding in. And don't you look at me sideways with those eyes, sideways with those eyes, sideways with those eyes, sideways with those eyes.